Mhm. A da, sve dobro. Okej. 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 Sam se malo približim. Vidimo kod. Tako. Collections using znaš što? Može ostavit ću. Opa. Data. Okej. Nie, powiem. Czekaj, Boże, noise script. Cisza. Krmije nešto napad. Ovo neću previše krpiti. Kako je lektura, ja nemam pojma. Aš, ne znam kako je to napravio, ali dobro. Czy to i tak ostre? Najwyżej się trzeba. By trzeba to sklejać. Ага, а как se radi ovdje? Ovo se to radi ovako. Ja. To se tako radi. Okay.
Inside, we're going to make a static array. So this wants to be public static. We're going to make it read-only because
Public static read only. Vektor 3. Su oni kockasti. Valjda sad neće biti problema. Voxel. Piš.
generated unless you have them set size and generate everything else. The world is constantly generated, so if you start changing the fundamental values of a voxel or a chunk or anything partway through the game, you're going to get all kinds of bits of stuff. So we're going to call this voxel first. That's what we call it. We call this proportion. Makes a bit of sense. Now, we know.
Oh. A sad nema, opet ima još neki. Što će me? A čega ti meni dala? Ko? Don't say. Okay, no. Vektor.
Now, we know.
Brackets. Okay. Ovo bi trebalo biti. O, upadam. To bi ovako trebalo biti.
Inside here, we're going to plot 8 vector 3s. These represent the locations of those nodes. So the first vector 3 is 0, 0, 0.
Ja, što? Ovo ne. Dajmo, ne mogu, ba više ga jest. Evo nešto se nas jesu, ne znam kako. Čekaj, ovdje, Okay, so doing 5. Okay. Aha, ja, ovaj skripta. Hopidi i na ovaj property. Hopidi na ovaj property. Grozno skript, da mogu vam reći. Ne znam, ja C Sharp.
So the last thing I want to do with this video is get the texture work. So I've got a picture somewhere that I've lost. So to understand how textures work, basically each one of the UV vector 2's is a coordinate on the actual texture. So it's not going to be attached to anything, it's not going to be. So there's two reasons. One is very expensive because in terms of resources, because each of these cubes is in its own game object. It's going to mesh, so mesh render is going to transform. It's very expensive to put all these objects on screen, and then the other problem is that Unity does have an actual limitation. You can only draw so many game objects. You can only have so many game objects in existence at once. It is a high number. You can get quite a lot of game objects on screen, but you're gonna hit that in a game like Minecraft because there are a lot of cubes. So we're not going to do that. The easier way is to actually draw what we call chunks. I imagine most people who know Minecraft know what chunks are. And instead of drawing each individual cube, you just draw the actual mesh of the outside of that chunk. So if you have 10 cubes all along a flat surface like the floor, you don't need to draw anything under that floor because you can't see it until you start digging. To that part. So I've made a little reference to it just to help us understand. This is a voxel, a Minecraft voxel, and as you can see we have 8 corners. This is essentially the only location data that we need is to know where these 8 corners are. So what we're going to do, go back into Unity and we'll make ourselves a nice little scripts folder because we want to keep everything nice. start. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a lookup table that stores all of this information. Where these eight vertices are. You can do this programmatically. You can do it in forward. You can use maths to work out where everything needs to be. I'm not saying this is in any way efficient. It might actually be more efficient. I'm not sure. It's definitely not more elegant. But like I say, I'm trying to do this in a way that's easy to follow rather than any particular spectacular way of doing it. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to create ourselves a static class. We'll call this voxel data. We'll open this. We want it to be a static class because the whole point of this, the whole point of this class is that it's just going to store data that we need. It's not going to do anything else. So it's not going to be attached to anything. It's not going to be anything. It's just going to store data. So we get rid of one of it and it's going to point out anything. Public obviously static, so access it from anywhere. And then inside we're going to make a static array. So if this wants to be public static, we're going to make it read-only because we don't want it getting edited halfway through the game because that will cause all sorts of problems if you start changing size and things in the middle of the game. When the theory of Minecraft, the world is constantly being generated unless you have a set size and you generate everything at once. The world is constantly being generated, so if you start changing the fundamental values of a voxel or a chunk or anything partway through the game, you're going to get all kinds of weird stuff happening. So we're going to call this voxel verse. We don't matter what you call it. Those to call it something that makes a bit of sense. Now we know. We know how many verts there are. Each one of these red dots, red spheres, represents a vert. So we know that there are 8 verts. There's always going to be 8 verts on a cube. As we get later on and we start drawing things like stairs, for example, that's going to change. We'll worry about that later. For now, we know that all of our blocks have got 8 verts, so we don't need to worry about what the size is because we can set it.
Isso serve più rossa, mi sono idiota.
8 verts, that's what it is. And then inside here, we're going to put 8 vector 3s. And these represent the locations of those verts. So our first vector 3 is 0, 0, 0. Luckily, I need a little feature to this so I can show this. So go back to the front, go back, watch out where it's oriented. So we have 0, 0, 0 here, and then 0 next to it, next to the actual coordinate, you can see one's really important.
Ah! Sai serve di fatto. Hiç ama dok hoću sredina, možda neću puno. Da kak zove. Jer grmi. Vidjet ću.
There we have all of our vertices in an array format, all of its coordinates. So each one of these represents one of these. Now, the way Unity or any 3D thing draws a 3D object is by triangles. So each one of these vertices, 3 of them polygonal, that sort of thing. But obviously to draw, so that I can draw. So right now I've got, as you're looking at, to make it. So all the triangles, you have to add them in a way. We get a triangle. So Unity knows which triangles to add. Is we have two arrays. We have a vertices array which just stores these values here, stores the location of the vertices. And then it has a triangle array. The triangle array is just an int array, and what the int array does is it references in the not this array. This is just a lookup table. In the actual vertices array that we're going to put these values into, it references the index that a particular vertices will be in. So if we put this, if this vertex here ends up in, I don't know, number 24 in the vertex array, then we need to reference number 24 in the triangle array when we want to call that vertices. So the way we're going to do it, we're going to use another lookup table. We go public static read only again, because again we don't want this to change. This is just for reference. It's not actually going to do anything in the game. We'll call this one voxel tries. New 1, 2, 3 references some bottom, back, left each face. So we need to set that to 1, 7, 6, and again I'm not doing this from memory. I do have this written down on a bit of paper. So that is currently the only face in there.